Okay, so Anupam, I really appreciate you taking the time to meet with me today. Anupam Pathak is the founder of LiftWare, and it's a really unique device that's been helping a lot of people in the Parkinson's and essential tremor community. Can you tell me a little bit about your device?
Sure. The device itself works by, it's a handheld device that actually you just hold, and it has a little computer inside that's able to detect the person's tremor and distinguish it from intentional motion. So if there's unintended tremor that it picks up, it will actually move whatever is attached to it. So for example, if there's a spoon attached to it, it will move the spoon in the opposite direction to the tremor. So for example, if you're shaking and you shake to the right, it would physically move the spoon to the left by the same amount so that the effect of the tremor is reduced, and that allows people to be able to eat and feed themselves much easier than before.
Yeah, it's those real-time corrections that stabilize it in time and space so that people can use the device. It's not just for eating, though. I mean, it's almost like a platform. It's a stabilizing handle that you can attach a lot of other stuff, and you're looking at other products. Is that correct?
Yeah, definitely. So you can think of it as a general purpose stabilizer that we've developed, and then we're already working on different sorts of attachments that you can put on the end. So we started with eating just because it's such a fundamental thing that a lot of people start to struggle with, and that's something we really wanted to help with first. But now we're already looking into what other aspects of daily living, such as handheld tools or personal hygiene, ways to assist in those areas. That's something that's very interesting to us, and we're definitely doing research and developing more attachments in that space.
I was hoping you could tell me a little bit more about the origins of this, because I saw something on the Detroit Free Press, and they were saying that this was originally a project. You were getting a PhD at the University of Michigan, is that correct?
Yes, that was, yeah.
And there was a project that was kind of more military-based that was being used for stabilizing equipment on transport, or what was that about? I'm missing pieces of this, I'm sure.
Yes, it was a different project, but the same kind of technology, or I guess the same technical expertise was developed for stabilizing things for the military. And so this included just, things like if you're going over a bumpy terrain, but also if you have physiological tremor during combat, so even a person's weapon would be something that they were interested in being able to help the soldier with. So that was just kind of more fundamental research and part of my PhD work in developing some new kinds of actuators, some new ways to generate motion to help compensate for the sort of disturbance, motion disturbance. So that was, I was working on that, but then I also just became very interested in the problem of people, with movement disorders. So that includes people with Parkinson's and essential tremor, and even some people with multiple sclerosis. And that's when, pretty right after graduating, I approached some of the neurologists at the University of Michigan, and also wrote a grant proposal to the NIH to be able to fund me to kind of work into this, kind of move into the space and see what areas I can create a big contribution towards.
Yeah, I think that's a really fascinating kind of concept, and I see this happen a lot of times with technology, where initially maybe it comes as part of a DARPA grant, and it becomes a military thing, but then we look at medicine, and at some point entertainment. I don't know that there's going to be an entertainment component to this, but it's funny how that the technology kind of works its way through the different funding processes. So good for you, and you took that data from the NIH and you published in the Movement Disorder Society Journal, am I correct?
Yes. So yeah, we actually presented at the American Academy of Neurology, and then wrote a journal paper in the Journal of Movement Disorders. So that was a clinical study where we actually took the LiftWare technology and tested it with patients who had essential tremor and demonstrated that on average the device was able to compensate for about 70 to 75% of the user's tremor.
And I think this is where I want to encourage people to go ahead and take a look at the videos if you haven't seen them. The new website is now, it's on google.com/liftware. It's quite amazing. When you have the right person for it, and I've encountered this on a number of times, it's magical how it turns off the motion in a way that really facilitates the ability to eat again, and it's really remarkable. I was looking around, as I was looking to get prepared for this. You have an app, is that correct? Is that at all affiliated with this product, or was that just an idea you were playing with? Or?
Yeah, the app is free. That's something that we, I was talking with some patients actually, and they were saying that they wish that there was a way for them to measure how bad their tremor is. And because there's no really good way to do that. And I thought, why not just use the sensors in the smartphone to be able to calculate that? And I already had been developing these sorts of algorithms and knew the math behind it for the clinical work we're doing. So I just kind of ported that over into for these mobile apps. So it's out for iOS and Android, and it will measure the hand tremor. We're working on more kind of things in that area. I think probably later in the year we'll be developing more tools to help clinicians and maybe even patients to kind of track what's going on, because of these are chronic diseases that last over a long time, and it's something that I think the patient themselves needs to be empowered to be able to track and understand.
Yeah, I think that the app is a very powerful way to do that. I talk about kind of an augmented clinical judgment, and I think an app could do something just like that, where you could really see a lot of things that maybe I'm looking at this as a clinician, but to quantify and give me data. I look at Jeffrey Hausdorff at Niccolo Hospital was using an accelerometer for a timed up and go, and what was cool about that is they were able to see problems at the beginning and at the end that I don't think clinicians were going to be sensitive to. They're usually timing that and making it here, and the tremor is exactly the same kind of thing. It's very hard to quantify something like that from a clinical perspective, so it's very powerful. And maybe it's something you could even use to help identify the proper candidates for using your tools, your LiftWare stabilizing platform.
Yeah, definitely. And I think, there's things on the clinical side where the differences may be a little bit more subtle. So, a lot of the clinical assessments rely on kind of a subjective assessment. So if you can pick up these sorts of differences, and it would be really useful for studies, I think, when people, there's new sorts of therapies, and even comparing different kinds of deep brain stimulation, being able to measure these sorts of things would really help in the development of those new therapies too.
Yeah, that's what I'm excited about. I see a possibility of having better data, basically because we're going to be getting it throughout the day, either passively or with input, and that's going to get a much better picture than having someone come in and say, well, I've had this problem or I've had that problem. It helps me get to a better picture it that way.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, that's very cool. That's very cool. So how do people get this device? What do they have to do? What's the best way to get one to try and hopefully use it in their home and out and about?
Yeah, well, you can order directly from our website. And so what we have is we offer a 30-day trial period. So if it doesn't work, you can just send it back to us and we'll give a refund. So it's pretty reasonably priced just online in the U.S. We do free shipping, so it's pretty easy in the U.S. Internationally, we are kind of working on that to get it out abroad. Probably maybe mid this year we'll be able to start sending those out. And then if you're a veteran, also I think a lot of the VA hospitals have them. They'll provide them for you. So you just have to kind of go through the prosthetics department. Or I think you have to get an occupational therapist to recommend it, and then the prosthetics department will order it. So yeah, it's definitely been helping lots and lots of people. just over the holidays, I sent an email out just to our list asking, our factory is actually here. It's 20 minutes away from our office, and we have it's really nice. We can just drive over, and we know most of the workers there. They've been working ever since the beginning, and I just wanted to have them feel connected to the people that are being helped. I mean, they've touched every single device that's gone out, and I think that's really amazing to know that they're in a very direct way helping improve lives of a lot of people. So I sent an email out to our list just asking for people who have benefited from the technology and the device to just send a thank you card or a note, and we've been completely overwhelmed with the response. We have, our entire walls in our office are covered with these letters, and we're just basically going to send boxes to our factory as well, so that they can know that they're connected to people that they're very directly helping.
Well, and that's why I'm so excited about you joining the life sciences department at Google, because obviously Sergey Brin's experience, he's been a very strong advocate and for Parkinson's in particular, but also for the healthcare community. And so I think it's going to be interesting. I didn't know your factory is right up the street. That's very cool, and it's unusual. And I think that also speaks kind of the nature of your company. So that's excellent. What is that like? What are you doing? Are they giving you some free rein to really explore these ideas and get more input, data, feedback?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, so I think that there's a few kind of major areas that we're going to be working towards. One is getting Liftware out to even more people. I think that's kind of the main thing. Is we created a technology to help people, and we want to fulfill that mission. We want to help as many people as we can with it. Then the other part mentioned is helping researchers, come up with new therapies as well. We want to definitely contribute to the research space, and then new technologies to help come kind of along the same lines, is to just help improve quality of life, provide assistance, and just really. It's all about using today's technology and whatever technology is going to be coming out in the future, and in very kind of empathetic ways to help improve people's lives. So that's just a mission of ours that we're going to kind of continue towards.
That's a great place to be. That's a great mission, and your device is already really, it's changed a lot of lives. And like I said, it's really one of these game changers that just showed up out of nowhere, and now everyone wants to at least see one. And again, you try it. If it works for you, it's amazing. It's a transformative device. I had a patient that borrowed one and took it to Thanksgiving dinner last year, and it was the stories that came back were just great, and it was perfect. A person that actually had essential tremor initially, and then migrated and ended up having Parkinson's at the same time, and that was the perfect mix for that, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you taking some time. I'm sorry about some of the technical stuff, but it'll work itself out in the mix. And I'm going to put a little link to this after I post it and send you the article. But if you have any other ideas or feedback along those lines, I'll be happy to incorporate it in there. I'm really looking forward to seeing what comes next from Liftware's product line. And I'm sure I'll see you at some conferences. You'll be in San Diego, I'm assuming?
Yeah, we're basically trying to plan out our schedule, and definitely we'll keep you updated. If you need any pictures or video or anything, we can share those with you too, so we can be in touch over email.
Perfect.
Okay. Awesome.
Thank you, Anupam. Anupam Pathak, founder of Liftware, just a remarkable device for people with Parkinson's, essential tremor, and other movement disorders. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye-bye.